So nice to see you. A a big apology for last night. We got stuck on the highway and they kind of shut down traffic. I think they were doing some repairs. It's in some places the highway near us is 2 lanes. And when they're doing construction like they are doing now, I mean, there's no reason why. Why is a major highway 2 lanes like that? I don't know, but I personally find it incredibly terrifying. Is this Brian's new coffee?
Huh?
Is this the new coffee?
Here.
Just want to let people know that Brian has a new coffee called uh,
Ethiopian.
Ethiopian Ethiopian organic. Well, but I'm not drinking this right now.
Huh?
I'll
You
have it.
are.
I am. Okay, so I'm drinking Ethiopian organic. This is Brian's latest creation. Brian is just the sweetest guy in the world. I mean, not only did he invite us to his house repeatedly when we were first getting set up here, and we really needed it. Like I mean, we didn't have showers and stuff, and so we'd go to they were nice enough to take us in and kind of like say, "Why don't you take a shower?" I'm like, "Okay," but he's just such a sweetheart. But yeah, spiritual being coffee man. But he continues. I mean, I don't ask him to do this, and I feel a little embarrassed, but I love it. He keeps sending me coffee, and it's just the best coffee ever. Organics. I've seen him roasted himself, so it's definitely, if you have he it costs a little extra to ship it, but it's definitely worth. It's great coffee. Okay, so anyway, l'chaim to everyone, to life. That's what this is all about, really, to life. Life is to be lived, life is to be enjoyed. So last night I missed being able to broadcast, and it was hard on me too. It's very hard for me not to broadcast. But we did it. We were just too tired, and we've been kind of we traveled, we drove. For us to go anywhere around here, hey, Mobby Wolverine, it takes hours for us to get to like a major city. So we were driving, and this road that it's 93. I don't know if you guys know it, but 93 is the closest highway to my camp, and it's at night. It's just it's terrifying because it's a two lane highway at night. I'm sorry. When I was a boy, yeah, I mean, how many years ago? 65 years ago, everything was like two, but now it's not comfortable. It's nice. It has chocolatey sort of overtones. That's what you're saying, yeah?
It tastes like smells like Mexican chocolate.
Has like a Mexican coffee smell to it. Chocolatey smell to it. Ethiopian organic. If you, Brian, spiritual bean coffee. If you're in Prescott, Arizona, stop by his coffee shop, Spiritual Bean Coffee. Oh, I love a good cup of Brian's coffee.
It tastes like a stronger white herb.
She said, Daniela says it tastes like a stronger Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp is also a favorite of mine now. Brian is always expanding his creative frontiers. I I was sorry to miss Daniela said, "Well, did you do any research? Were you ready?" And I was like, "Yes, I was ready for last night's broadcast." Why was I ready for last night's broadcast? Because of the video hopefully about to play. Again, I'm unpredictable as hell, but I really wanted to share this clip. It's more than 3 minutes, so it's a bit long, but I think it really gets to the heart. You were a little worried. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I just we tried to get in too many things. We drove to Phoenix, and we tried we're working on something that I can't really discuss, but we're working towards something. We're building something. We're trying to build something. We are building something. And Daniela really, really, really wanted to go to a holistic dentist. She hasn't been to a dentist in like 10 years. So we decided that we would, after all our other things, that we would go to the dentist. And it just took a long time, you know. And I mean, it wasn't really even that long a time. It's just that it takes us really like it took us like 3 hours to get to this part of Phoenix, and then coming back was in the dark. Actually, when we left in the morning, it was in the dark. We left at like 5 in the morning. We came back. I think we got back at like 10 at night or 9 at night or something like that. But it was just too late. I was wiped. I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm not terrible. I mean, I sort of like to drive. I sort of don't like to drive. I got into a near fatal accident when I was 25, I think, or 26, and I'm very, very respectful of the the power that one is involved with when you're driving. I don't take driving lightly. I don't drift off and think of things that I want to. I don't spend the time drifting off thinking. I focus on the driving, especially since I don't have insurance or a registration, any of that stuff. I don't want it. I take it very seriously. I know it's a very important responsibility to be driving. So when we're driving for hours, which I was doing yesterday, I was driving really in the car for 6, 7, 8 hours. It's I take it very, very seriously, and I don't get loosey goosey about it. I did. Or I don't know if you guys remember, but maybe like a year ago was when we went off the road. About a year ago, I was coming down my mountain road, and I just like kind of like, yeah, I just was like, hey, just sort of driving like, and now he's driving down the mountain, going fast, fast, fast. And if he makes it, this one gonna be his last. The road to Acapulco. I don't want to get a strike from YouTube, but I got a little loosey goosey, and the next thing I knew, we were hanging off like two wheels. Where we live, we drive on roads that are kind of like on either they're on canyons. They may not be cliffs per se, but they are. If you can't you can't be thinking about something else while at least I don't like to think about other things. But anyway, we found ourselves. I For a minute I just got kind of like silly with myself, and then the next thing I knew, we had two wheels off in going into the canyon. Danielle and I jumped out of the truck. We got our neighbor to tow us out, thank God, and the truck was saved. So I take driving very seriously. I do feel more comfortable driving on the back roads than I do on the highway. Highway, especially at night, scares the hell out of me. Oh, sorry. But anyway, we made it back, and I'm sorry we didn't broadcast. But I wanted to show this clip, and I'm going to show it tonight. It's it's not a clip that really like where I could say, okay, it means this, this, and this, but in a kind of a abstract way, it puts a clear delineation between living in the matrix and moving into the new world. That this is not to be taken lightly, in a sense, that this is a major experience that we're going through, a major transformation, a major transition. We're not the same as we were yesterday. Every day, according to Hasidic philosophy, you wake up, you're a totally new person, totally new, brand new. The problem is that the creeps have created this matrix that gives you the illusion that it has some connection to reality, which it does not at all. It's totally disconnected from reality. Great to see you again. Love and light. Thanks, Kaya Beers. Bears, I send light and love to everyone watching this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everyone here is a special soul. You wouldn't be here. Not that I'm like, some hot, not to say me, but the thought stream that we've been delving into, and that this is a channel of change, which is why, I look at other channels and like this really brilliant woman who's doing this thing about the city of London and how they're just, they're how Trump is defeating the city of London. And I'm seeing like, wow, she's getting like hundreds of thousands of views. I don't know if there are enough people that are up to where you guys or where we are holding with this, because on this channel, in my opinion, this is just my take on it, we change. We evolve. We're not the same. It's not the same channel from one week to the next, and people are not used to that kind of experience. They want to see, okay, this guy's going to talk about, how great Trump is, or how whatever view that you feel you want, that you live by, is what you want to enforce, you reinforce. So I was really touched by this little video. I'm going to play it now, but I was really touched by this little video. And what I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily say, oh, this is this, and oh, that explains, why Jeffrey Epstein, whatever. And oh, by the way, one of the points I want to get to tonight is I got from real raw news, and he said the Rothschilds were on Epstein Island. So, and he said, this is something we should, I'm just going to mention this and then I'll go watch the video. We should be really excited about this. Why? Because if they were on Epstein Island, they are all known child abusers and crimes against, they maybe have been filmed committing crimes against humanity. But why should we be excited about that? Because that means that, and I don't know, I'm not on the level of Derek Johnson. I was just looking at reading something from Derek Johnson. I love what he does. I totally respect you, Derek. I met him once. I don't know if he remembers, but I got to shake his hand, and I told him about, there was something in the Bible that he was talking about, and I told him the names of the people involved. I think it was something like Noxion, but no, it was something different. I forget. It'll come to me. But the fact that the Rothschilds have been, are probably going to be, they're probably already dead. They've probably been executed a long time ago. But the idea of the Rothschilds, the idea of these, of Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink and all these people, the idea of them and the money that they may have accumulated can now be seized by Trump and the White Hats, and will eventually find its way back into the pockets that it was robbed from, which is we the people. We the people supported all these creeps, all these banksters, all these scams through our taxes. George Soros, he didn't use his own money to do these things. He used our money through all these illicit NGOs and the like. But okay, so let me just get right to this film, and I want to see. I want you to tell me. I saw a hummingbird in your earlier. The tree blossom. You saw a hummingbird? Wow! I have to check it again. There are hummingbirds that they're so fast that I often don't notice them, but they do. I think they are busy fertilizing our trees. It's such a good. It's really hard for me. I don't want to go off on any more tangents, but let me just say this. I love my life, and I wish I could share this with other people for the one reason that I can go off and into this kind of cosmic world of information, and it's an outer body experience. And then I can go, and like this morning I spent really almost 2 hours fixing, getting a fence to align with, like two I put two long boards, and they were one of the boards that had warped out of position. So I eventually had to use a through bolt, what's called a through bolt, meaning I tried screwing them and using wood to get them to come together, and it didn't work. So I eventually had to get it, and it took me hours to, because I have all used bolts. I just, things that I found, things that I just, that end up on my property, or that we salvage from somewhere else. I don't have money to go out and buy 100 nice through bolts of different sizes. And yeah, I mean, at least at this point, I think I will soon, but we all will. But especially if you think that the Rothschild's money and the Rockefellers' money can now be seized and will be coming back our way through. They have this like new dollar bill that's like an investment thing. Okay, but yeah, you love your coffee mug. Yeah, Brian gave that to me. Brian is like Brian would for sure take the shirt off his back if you were cold. He's that kind of guy. I mean, I haven't really had the pleasure of spending time with people like that. But Brian reached out to me, started sending me coffee a couple of years ago, and we ended up meeting together in Prescott when I first came there to look at land. We spent a few moments together, and then when we got here, he just kept inviting us to his house. It was just like, I mean, we've been camping out for a year and a half. So at that point, but now we have like, we have an enclave. We have an earthship around us and a garden. My garden is so beautiful. We're planting our vegetables now. It's warm enough here. I'm taking tomatoes that I really like. I told you a few nights ago that I spent a lot of time not breeding, but planting kind of exotic tomatoes. So I know from experience that if you drop a tomato in your garden, you're going to have tomato plants. It's that easy. And not just a few tomato plants. One tomato has hundreds of seeds in it. So, you have to be a little careful. So there was actually an organic orange tomato that I had the pleasure of. Where did I get that? I got that from Sprouts, I think. So I thought that I had eaten them all up, but I found a few in my refrigerator. I don't like to refrigerate tomatoes, but these were pretty old. So I just cut them up and stuck them in the garden, stuck them in the ground. That's the pleasure for me of having a garden right next to my house. The garlic, I cut up the. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry, but I cut up my garlic. I like to eat raw garlic every night. I like a clove of raw garlic, and when I take the papery peel off, if there's a little green shoot coming out, I put it aside and I stick it in the garden. It's so beautiful to live here. And I'm just telling people that if you have an inclination to like do stuff like garden, and you like to fix things, and it's so grounding to be able to go on X and think of all these things and get it's annoying after a while. It's like, well, what's the point, man? I know what's going down. Like with the oil thing, there's no oil crisis going on, but the Democrats, the fiends, they'll use any opportunity to make it seem like we're in a crisis, because they have to control the narrative. Thanks, Christopher. Lots of hummingbirds in the Arizona mountains. Yeah. Thanks, Edward. Yeah, we see a lot of them. You hear this like humming. It's yeah, a hummingbird. Like driving in Tennessee, lots of curves, ups and down. Yeah, Yeah, I used to drive from Nashville to Chattanooga quite frequently, and I don't remember it being a comfortable ride. I'm not sure, but out here, mountains and curves, and at night it could drive you nuts. It's like it's like a courage test. It's like, because what I've discovered, and this, you guys can comment on this or whatever, but I don't know if you have the same experience. The way to handle these really steep hills is to not use your gas at all and just go with it, because usually, and it's the same with going into Las Vegas. When we go to Las Vegas, the last like 50 miles are at night, can be really scary. But it seems like they design roads so that if you don't step on the gas when you're going down these mountainous inclines, that you eventually hit like a flat space, and the car slows down. It doesn't seem to, if I don't hit the gas, it doesn't seem to really speed up. It just goes down, and then it hits like a flat spot. If because I don't like to wear out the brakes. I don't want to wear out my brakes on mountain roads, hitting the brakes all the time. Okay, so let's go to this video. I just want to know if it affects you the way it affected me. I think this is a transcendent experience. So let's enjoy this together. Okay, I have to start it first. Let's go. Is it here? Yeah, here we go. Okay, you'll hear the sound first.
Worlds that never touch. Nobody said the sky would stay blue, while the realities beneath it fractured like old glass. We see the world, the protests, the pain, the families ripped apart, the headlines heavy with his story trying to repeat itself again. And still, you asked to be a part of the new earth. You asked to wake up in the middle of the movie and realize the script was never yours. So now you stand here wondering, how do I live my life when the world is unraveling? How do I breathe joy when someone else is gasping for hope? But that's the trick of the old earth. It wants you guilty for growing, ashamed for ascending, afraid to feel light while darkness performs its same tired scene. Because that's all it is. A film stuck on repeat. A reel of recycled suffering that plays for anyone who still believes they're trapped in the theater. But you walked out. You didn't press rewind. You didn't sit through the credits waiting for a different ending. You broke the tape. You broke the trance. You broke the inheritance of carrying pain like a family heirloom. They'll say you don't care. They'll say you're detached, distracted, disconnected. But the truth is, you care so deeply. You refuse to reenact the tragedy. You care so fiercely that you're willing to feel, release, and rise. So the story doesn't start over in your bloodline. Human consciousness woke up. Not the hashtag version, not the loud performance of being aware, but the quiet knowing that some people are still choosing the same old tape because it's familiar. And you're choosing the new earth because it's free. So walk your path, hold your frequency, honor your timeline. You're not abandoning the world, you're anchoring a new one. And even if we breathe the same air, we are not living in the same reality. Not anymore.
What happened? Yeah, I just think that is amazing. Let's see if I can get back to, how do I get back to what happened here? Let's see. Okay. I'm here. And then I went, okay, escape. And then I can't seem to, do they have a new thing now? Let's see if I go here. Okay, cancel. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess I am reduced to, well, this, no. Shift. Okay, I'm a little bigger now. I don't know how the Restream keeps changing on me. I haven't really figured it out. But let's try this one. Are you kidding me? It's I can't. Okay, whatever. I think that I can't be just a little guy, can I? I mean, okay, so I'm at this point. Let's see if I can just enlarge that. Whatever. Okay, maybe this is showing me something else, but I think I want to see the chats. Okay, so now I can see your chats. Okay, now somehow I got back to normal. That film is so touching. That film is so touching. The line, "You carry around shame and guilt like a family heirloom." That's what it's like in the Matrix. You never escape. You play the same tape over and over again. I just remember waking up. I remember how it happened. I just thought to myself, I got to change something. Something isn't right. And I started going on in YouTube. I'm a researcher type dude. So I kept, and then I found Joe Dispenza. First, I found Aaron Doherty, who was at the time he was really into the law of attraction. That how do you become, and he was fabulously successful. And I thought, wow, man, he could do this. He could have a YouTube channel like that. Maybe I could have a YouTube channel too. And I started. But Joe Dispenza kept saying, if you're thinking the same thoughts, if the programming, if you're not changing the tape, and I knew this from my days of doing psilocybin on the weekends, that there's certain things in your mind that keep repeating over and over again. And that line, it's like you carry around shame and guilt like a family heirloom. You go to your Thanksgiving. I'm just remembering myself at 5 years old, being at Thanksgiving with all the families. In those days, all the families stayed together. And there was this feeling of like, yeah, I mean, there was a cool feeling, but there was underlying feeling that you're never enough. You're never gonna, the world sucks, and you're gonna, it had, and this is the cultural place, the comfort zone of most of humanity. It's like, I suck, the world sucks, and there's nothing I can do about it except just be in it, just let it suck. And then Joe Dispenza said, well, if you have the same feelings, and I knew this, like I said, from my psychedelic days, if you still in your garden, if you have all black beetles that are eating your tomato things and you don't do anything about it, you're always going to have black beetles eating your tomato plants. These are the thoughts that just, they're like on a hamster wheel. And I I can attribute it to certain, I know certain members of my family. Like I had an aunt, and the aunt was like, you'll never amount to anything. You could, all her kids went to Harvard. They were all tremendous successes, but they were schmucks. I mean, in her, in this worldview, they weren't. I mean, to me, they were my heroes growing up. Two out of the three sons went to Harvard, and it was just like they were to us heroes. But this heirloom of shame, the heirloom of guilt, the heirloom of I'm a failure. So Joe Dispenza, and I'm sorry for getting off this. I know people want to hear the news. I mean, the news is good, and we'll get to. I'll try to get to some of it. And I know I've been saying this for years. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't heard before. I'm just kind of reminding myself and you guys that we made a decision. If you're in a social environment, let's say you go to a party. I haven't been to a party in years. I can't even remember the last party I went. Did we ever go to a party?
No.
We've never been to a party. And but in that kind of a situation, the way you break the ice, I don't need this anymore because I talk to everyone now. I mean, I go into stores and I make friends with anyone who's insane enough to listen to me. I'll be your best friend for 30 seconds, and we'll have a great time together. That's just the way I am now. But in the old days, if you wanted to, like, you're feeling really nervous, you're in a party and they're like all these people, and they seem to know what they're about, and in your heart of hearts, you don't know. You're clueless. You're honest with yourself, and you're just like, I I'm scared. All these people scare me. I don't, what am I going to tell them? That I'm like some kind of big shot? I'm not. I'm a failure. This is my mindset. So what you do to make friends is you grab somebody and you say, isn't the world really suck? Isn't it so unfair? Isn't it so terrible? That that's how you make friends in the Matrix. Or you could use the thing that I figured out later is like you can always talk to people about food. If you don't know what to say to them, talk about food, and you'll because people love to eat. It's kind of a transcendent pleasure that we allow ourselves to have. You think of eating pizza, like a really hot pizza. It's a total sensual. It's a 10. It's like it's all in, man. You're all in. Your whole. It's just completely and okay. So, but now I because I don't hide my thoughts anymore. I don't have that shame and guilt. At least if it's there, it's buried deeply. But now I'm kind of like open enough to the situation. I mean, after years of working through these things and hypnotizing myself and taking experimental voyages on mushrooms and smoke and that kind of stuff, and getting into all kinds of weird experiences and changes and people, and now I'm kind of in the moment, and I'm just like, hey man, it's like we go to the same stores every time we come into town, and we they all know us and they all love us. It's just, and we love them. These are our best. This is our social life, because we don't really have like a social life. I mean, we have each other, and that's okay. So I'm going to take this as an opportunity to go on a slight tangent, but I just want to repeat. Work in your garden. You don't have to live. You don't have to own 170 acres. You don't have to be some weirdo guy who buys sight unseen some land in the middle of the Mojave Desert. I didn't even know what a desert really was. I just thought, wow, it looks really cool. It doesn't look like New York. I want to buy it. But if you live in a normal place, and there's no reason why you can't have this kind of grounding experience with just walking outside and you know, I had wild gardens in the middle of Brooklyn, and my neighbors begged me to like clean it up, but I was just like, no, I need this. I need this to survive. So this is totally non sequitur. I believe I'm gonna go now to another post. Yeah, let's go to here. Let's see if we can do this. I'm so sorry about this. It would be way up. I just saw this post and I read it to Daniela, but I think you'll get a kick out of this. Yeah, this here it is. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. How do we do this? Let's go to here. Try this. Okay. Except I can't. Okay, so I'll go back to I'll go back to this. Believe it or not, playful touching and squeezing your partner's butt isn't just fun, right? It's just fun. It can actually be good for your health. I mean, if you live in guilt and shame and you feel like a sinner and you feel like a failure and you're not as good as your cousins and this is coming from another level of reality. Physical touch stimulates the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which helps reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and produce feelings of. I see. I can't click on it. Okay, so let me go back. I'm going to go back to that post. Sorry, but I'm not. Okay, so here. No, here. How did I just lose that? Okay, but I won't be able to click it on, right? No, I won't be able to click it on. I'm sorry that I'm still learning how to do this, but I will eventually, please God, figure this thing out. Let's try it a different way. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so now I can share it. See, if I was more prepared, if I wasn't so damn spontaneous all the time. Right. Except did I open it? I didn't open it yet. No. Okay, so stop sharing. All right. So let me just go. You don't see my face. Anyway, believe it or not, playful touching like squeezing your partner's butt isn't just fun. It can actually be good for your health. Physical touch stimulates the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which helps reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and promote feelings of closeness and happiness. These hormonal benefits positively impact both mental and physical well-being. Regular affection interactions, including playful or intimate gestures, also help strengthen emotional bonds. Feeling connected to your partner not only improves relationship satisfaction, but has real psychological effects, supporting heart health, reducing inflammation, and boosting immune function over time. Experts emphasize that these small acts of touch are a natural way to encourage emotional intimacy while promoting overall wellness. Incorporating playful physical affection into your relationship is a simple, fun, and scientifically supported way to improve your mood, strengthen your bond, and support your long-term health. All right, so I just thought that was pretty damn cool. Like have fun, like having fun. Like me, I was out there it took me like at least an hour to find the right bolt because everything is secondhand out here. So the bolts might, it just takes forever to find the right length and to find the ones with the threads right and to find the bolt that fits on the through bolt. It took me forever, and then I'm in the garden and I realized the extension cord doesn't fit there, and I don't feel like I could make it fit, but I don't feel like going through all that. So I took my battery powered little screw guns and we went out there and we drilled and we did this. It took forever, and like if I was working for somebody, they would have fired me on the spot. They'd be like, it took you an hour to put two boards together, basically. But from my point of view, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun adventure, even though it was a little bit frustrating. And it will be, those two boards will be together forever. I will never have to worry. Oh my gosh, the through bolt came out and it just went everywhere. It's not going to happen. Through bolts are through bolts. We're all living pretty much like the movie The Truman Show, but we all need to wake up and leave the Matrix just like Truman did. Yeah, I think so. KJ Bears, I think so. Hey, Shelby. Thank you, Shelby. Shelby, you don't even know how holy you are, Shelby. I mean, I mean, this woman is just like the nicest person on earth. I was months, like a year ago, I was saying, I need help with LifeWave. I want people to help me with LifeWave. And anyway, I don't even want to go, but she's like another Brian. She'll give you everything. She wants to take care of you. And just amazing. You people don't realize how special you are. You think you're not, because you're not one of these elite assholes who's got a degree and he's got 5 million in this and he's got 3 houses, and you think we've been brought up to think that that's what being successful looks like. It's not. These people are animals. They eat children. But a person like Shelby, a person like Brian, and probably almost everyone who's listening right now, probably everyone, yeah, and you're like, oh, it's not me, Ellie. I hope he's not going to look at me. No, but you think about how beautiful you are, how unusual you are, how giving you are. Shelby wanted to come and help me build here. I mean, and then she was embarrassed. She apologized for it. She said, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, Shelby, what are you talking about? You just offered to, I asked for help and you said, I'll come and help you. I wasn't really, should she be embarrassed? No, she should understand it. And you guys don't realize how special you are, how just specially perfect, just being normal. We grew up in this horrific matrix where everything is upside down, and we looked up to these. I grew up. We belonged to the speech club. I think I've talked about it. It was a seminal, a very important learning experience in my life to belong to the speech club. We didn't really fit in. Most of the people at the beach club were, forget it. I mean, my father was a dentist who worked 3 days a week. We didn't have, it's like they lived hand to mouth. I always heard, I thought growing up in my household that we were desperately poor because my parents were always saying, I don't know if we could pay the bills, this kind of stuff. But we lived in Scarsdale. We my father was making at the time, $50,000 a year, which is, according to my uncle, one of my uncles said, he says, your father's really, I'm like, whatever. But this is when gas was 28 cents a gallon, and they built a house in Scarsdale for $60,000. That's how much it cost to build a house in 1960. But we grew up thinking that we're never going to measure up. We're never good enough. I'll be lucky if somebody will marry me. It just, all this stuff, we just bathed in it like a family heirloom. It's like, I am the family of shame. I come from the family of guilt and shame. We've perfected it to such a high degree that we feel guilty for even enjoying a mouthful of ice cream. There's got to be something to regret about everything. Well, you'll get fat, or you'll be every pleasure in life has that gray lining that we've developed to the nth degree. So what this woman is saying in this tape, which her tone, everything about it, you come to my X channel, and you can it's actually a TikTok video, but you could get it from my X feed. I mean, it's yesterday. It was on. I loaded it up yesterday, but it's just so sweet. She's like, no, you're not bad. for leaving the matrix. You're not abandoning your friends. You're starting a new world. And you're releasing yourself from the endless guilt, the endless pain, the endless suffering, the endless there's nothing I can do about it. My life is just going to suck no matter what. That's how the rest of the world is. When people say everyone's an NCP, they're all NCPs. They have no feelings, they have no interior dialogue. I don't believe that. I think these are people who are scared shitless. They're scared. I mean, when we go into the grocery store, Danielle and I always find out your name. We say hello to people. We recognize people. You could be the guy. There's a guy who fills the fruit at Safeway. We're like, hey man, what's going on? You're looking good. Everything's this is being human. This elite way of well, can I talk to him? Is I see it. Like we were in an office yesterday, and you can smell an elite a mile away. They're just like, I say, hey, what's going on? And they're like, shh, am I allowed? Can I talk to this person? They're laboring under so many layers of the matrix, because if you've achieved a degree of success within the matrix, then you're constantly playing by the matrix rules. I've met some amazing people, and the amazing people you make. In the matrix world, the amazing people are the big successful people, and those are not the amazing people. I mean, when I went to elementary school, I thought the janitor was like. I mean, I love JFK, but if you ask me who was more important, JFK or Mr. Popson, I'd be like, I like Mr. Popson, man. He's always there for us. He's always working, and he doesn't say a lot, but something nice about Mr. Popson. JFK also. I'm not putting down JFK, but we've been led to believe that these elite people, and now they're being exposed. They're real creeps, a lot of them. A lot of them are real creeps, these shiny, beautiful people, the celebs and all these. I never liked celebrities. I never had a feeling like, wow, I really like to get to know them. They don't. Obama, I took one look at Obama. I instantly didn't like him. Another thing. Okay, here's another total non sequitur. This morning, they started with the chemtrails. There was a plane that had the outrageous nerve to come into my sky over my property and start making a chemtrail. I went out, and I encourage everyone to do this. I went out and I started chanting. I sounded like a Native American. It sounded like a Native American. And the guy went away. The guy went away. We do not know how powerful we are. But I just started chanting. Like, I don't know where this came. I never, whatever. I've been in sweat lodges, but we never chanted like that in a sweat lodge. I was always trying to check out well, I was single at the time, or I was single or something. But yeah, I mean, for me in a sweat lodge with a bunch of naked people, I want to find out. I like girls. So the sweat lodge, I'm not having to deep, spiritual experience. It's like in Orthodox Jewish circles, you don't pray with women, and it's not because women are less than. It's because if you're a man and there are women in the room, you're not going to be having a direct experience with God. You're going to have an experience that goes through the woman, which I don't discourage, because I suspect, and here's the thought that I probably didn't want to share, but I think I will anyway, is that a lot of the the things that society has told us is wrong and terrible, and indeed in the hands of the big pirates. I think the word pirate could be used interchangeably with pedo, and I think if I do get monetized on YouTube, I will say the big pirates. I take after Brian Cates. I thank Brian Cates for coming up with that term, the pirates, the big pedos. But I'm not talking about sickness, but I'm talking about like when you feel a kind of a, you see somebody and you have this magic moment, you look at each other and it just, there's something that just transpires. It could happen with somebody you live with too. You look at them and they look at you, and there's this kind of knowing look that like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm your friend. I want to work with you. I like what you're doing. I'm not here to like, scream and yell all the time, although I do a little bit. It's natural, but the idea like this, that the idea of tantric power, the idea that learning how to focus your attention on something that society deems as, not good. I'm talking about like, like you see a person of the other sex, and you just, there's a connection, that maybe it's a past life, who knows what it is, but there's some kind of communication that takes place, that those kinds of communications, that training yourself in a kind of romantic sense could be carried over into telepathy in general, so that when you get a little bit more mature, and the need to constantly reach out to other, to have this love experience with strangers goes away, or might go away. I mean, potentially. I don't want to talk about my case, but that this type of focus could be training for a major sort of telepathy. Now, just a caveat, I think that women by nature are completely telepathic. That's, I just never really was able to tap into that. I was too shy. I was too needy to really be able to connect in that way. But I think that women, anyway, that's another thing. But developing this ability to communicate with people without words, without even looking at them, just, you could pass a stranger and you could catch them kind of like glancing in your direction, and in that moment an entire narrative has unfolded. Like, you have this story together, you're dancing on top of the hilltops together, and you're laughing and you're singing, and it happens in a millisecond, in a tiny, uh minuscule amount of time. This incredible narrative just comes pouring out of this communication, that's and that's part of our ability. That's the thing that the reptiles probably don't have. They're just, they're all like, they eat and they sweat, and they whatever. Reptiles. Okay, well, how did I get onto that one? So pedivore pirates, right? Pedivore pirates, PPs. Good. Yeah, but I think it could be a good code word for us that way. Like, I could maybe, I wrote YouTube. They say on their thing, if you want to get monetized, we will get back to you within the month. Well, that was 8 months ago. So I wrote them. I said, but I'm torn, because if I do get monetized, then then I could get taken down. They don't seem to be interested in taking me down now that I'm not monetized. So it could be that, I don't want to get monetized, and it could be that if I can do enough business with the LifeWave thing, that I don't need it, and that's something that's evolved over time. I didn't plan on this happening, but pedivore. But yeah, to call them pirates, I think Brian Cates is one of the, I attach, there's certain voices that come forward at certain times, like when enough certain kind of information is released, certain people kind of at that time in that moment, like Derek Johnson could for somebody who doesn't know that we're under military occupation, it could be, like, wow, and it could be in that moment they recognize and are able to enjoy his communication post. But right now, in my opinion, there are several people that really exude a wonderful message, and one of them is this Brian Cates, who, in my mind, was taking pictures of Washington, and then suddenly he became this brilliant, philosophic news reporter, sensitive and valiant. So he calls it the big club pirates. I think he calls them big club pirates or something like that. I think it needs a little tweaking, but at the end of it, we could be able to communicate with each other. Brian Cates, yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant, but he captures the essence of what's going on right now. If I was a focused person, if I had if I did a meeting with Dr. Stacy. She is so focused. I have such admiration for Dr. Stacy. I just can't go there. It's just not for me. I wish, it's one of those things. I'm a kind of want to be like I've always wanted to be a regular person, but it just never worked out for me. I don't have the goods. No, I'm not saying Dr. Stacey's a regular person. I'm saying she's brilliant. She's brilliant in her ability to focus. And I actually did a live, a little bit of a live testimonial today on her channel. And I admitted before I even got into it, I said, Dr. Stacey, I'm not going to be able to stay on topic. You're going to have to use the hook. You'll have to take me off the stage, just like in the Little Rascals. They came out with a hook, right? Or was it one of those shows? But Brian Cates really captures everything. Yeah, he calls them transnational criminal cartel or transnational criminal organization. And that's what these pirates are. They don't belong to a country. They belong to a club. That's what, like, I think Brian Cates had this information today that Khomeini's son has all these properties in England. So, okay, so now I can go, I can morph into a little bit of political analogy. The deep state, this is their playground, is Iran. They run Iran and they keep these terrorists as distractions, as to keep the focus off what's really going on, just like they do in Israel. It's all about the war. It's all about meanwhile, the big club pirates they don't care about people. They don't kill a couple of 100,000 people. Okay, it's all part of business. It's a business deal. 9/11, 3,000 people. We had a thing to do. We had a job to do. We don't care. 3,000 people. That's nothing. Peanuts. That's these reptilian hybrid pirates. They don't care. But they have been using Ukraine, using Iran, using Taiwan, using America, using Israel, using Nepal, using every country on the planet as their clubhouse. And they let all this chaos and all these wars and all this famine and poverty go on while they're like sitting in their little Mason lodges or wherever they hang out. We hang out with Pepe Orsini in one of his mansions in Calabria. It's like, hey, Pepe, I need a week. I want to spend a weekend with you. Maybe we can discuss some business deals. I mean, do they, do they interact with regular folks? you know, maybe their chauffeur, who's probably not a regular folk. If you watch all these movies, the chauffeur's always in on it. The manservant. So what was that? Anyway, this I'm off on tangents, but Red Shoe Club, yeah, the Red Shoe Club, exactly. Yeah, but Brian Cates really is nailing it. But they talk about the underground tunnels, the federal banking system in Iran. This is banking to them. And what do? They distract us. We think there's this terrorist regime. It's Sharia law and all this other nonsense. This is just a cover. They have nothing to do with it. They could care less. Khomeini's son has property in England. This is a ideologue terrorist? No, it's a son of a bitch elite pirate who's got more, just like Arafat. They kept giving Arafat, UN kept donating money to Arafat. What did he do with it? Did he give it to his people? No. He had a house in Paris. He had, he also liked little boys. I mean, but you know, but Yasser Arafat, the Democrats all loved Yasser Arafat. He was a pedophile. He was a pirate. And he took all his money. Did he give it to his poor people? No, because they needed the people to be poor. That was the scene, just like the extremists in Iran. This is the distraction to keep people from realizing this is a big country club for us. We got the club, man. We're at the club. Club Iran. We got underground tunnels. We got beautiful 5-year-old girls. We can, I mean, these people are they're insane. They're insane. They're cruel, but they had us think like, and Brian is really exposing it. He's just right on the money with that. He's like, yeah, it's a big pie, terrorists everywhere and Sharia law, and they're cutting off genitals of little girls and all this other nonsense. These people are out of their minds, but it's all a front. They have nothing to do with it. Israel and Torah and the elites that run Israel, the Rothschilds and those scumbags, they don't care about the Israelis. They were the first to shoot them up with vaccines. They were the most heavily vaccinated. They could care less as long as they're club. Hey, I'll meet you at the club tonight. We'll go underground and maybe kill some kids together. Right? We'll do some human sacrifice and we'll party a little. Maybe we'll eat some kids. This is the social life of the people we looked up to. So they're in Iran. They got the central bank. They got Obama sending pallets of cash and gold. They got all this gold that they stole from us. It's all underground, man. They don't even need to hit they got these maglev trains. They can shoot gold from here to China in just a few minutes. Hey man, send me a couple tons of gold. Let's rip off the Americans, or no, let's rip off some whatever. So we're seeing this world where we're ashamed, like this video says. We live in shame, and we're not measuring up, and we're not good enough. Nancy, by the way, the Republic is where it's at, and more I'm hearing people say the word the Republic. We're doing it, man. We're listen, Nancy, you're running a whole state. We're just trying to get our little republic started in Mojave County, but it's a big deal. I mean, I'm going, I got a letter in my mailbox. I don't know how they figured out where my mailbox was, but the Department of Motor Vehicles or the judges or of the town, they want to, they sent me a letter. I'm not going to answer your letters. I don't accept your courts. I don't accept your police. I don't accept your registration. Even though there's no formal republic in Mojave County, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. I'm not having insurance. I'm not paying your taxes. I have no contact with you. And when Danielle and I have to deal with the Matrix, and we're doing this a situation where we have to deal with the Matrix. Where do these people come from? Where does somebody? We're trying to make an appointment to do something. It takes Daniela like 3 hours to make an appointment. The person, well, I can't do. I'm like, you think you're like negotiating with China. I'm trying to make an appointment next Friday. Okay, this takes 3 hours. That's the Matrix. That's by design. They get some person who can barely speak English. I mean, I'm not saying these are evil people, but it's the other thing we've learned. If you get a script from a pharmacist and you're paying the insurance price, just say, I mean, today I did it again. We were trying to get some kind of medicine thing. I don't encourage medicine. I'll explain it later. You guys probably have figured it out, but we're doing this thing. We're going with the program on this one. We don't have insurance. So we're buying all this medicine, and it's like, okay, that'll be, that's $3,050 for these 3 pills. And we're like, well, we don't have $3,000. We don't have insurance. We would have, we're poor dirt farmers up in Mojave Desert, man. I'm planting radishes up by my house. I mean, they're like, oh, okay. In that case, it'll be $10. That's what happens to us. You tell them, hey man, I can't, I don't have $500. They're like, okay, how about 5? They don't take it down by like, okay, you'll have to pay $459. It's just like, I told you $500. That's the insurance price, but you can get it for $10. You want it for $10? Fine. They're happy. I'm happy. This is a Matrix. It's a game, and I don't want to play it. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to play it. I'm not letting them know that, I'm thinking about taxes, because I see I went through it with them. Like, let's make a deal. Can I pay it off? Yeah, they will engage you forever, and you'll be signing papers, and you'll be just like with the courts. If I show up in court, I'm volunteering to participate in my own demise. I'm not doing it. I know this is Satanist court. It's run by maritime law, and I'm not a guy with all capital letters. That is not who I am. That's your fiction. I'm not playing it. I don't want to play your game. I live in what I consider the real world. I got a truck. I got a girl. I got a garden. I'm trying to build a house. It protects us from the wind already. We have a lock. We have a door that locks even though we don't have a roof. That's just a little detail I forgot. But, oh yeah, I need a roof. But it doesn't rain here ever. So we don't really even need a roof most of the year. It rains a couple of days of the year. So we'll eventually put on a roof. It's a beautiful world, man. It's so beautiful. It's so to be out in the Arizona sunshine in the morning, and I got every kind of tool. I'm a little unorganized, but I realize as I get more into this that organization is like a big piece of being a successful builder out here. You got to know where your hammer is. I mean, I spend way too much time trying to figure out where I put my hammer, and I only have one. That's a mistake. Next time I have money, I'll buy 3, and I'll have hammers all over the place. That's the way to do it. I had to go through that with the screwdrivers. I had one really good screwdriver, and I spent my life looking for the screwdriver. So the next time I had a few dollars, I went, let's buy 5 screwdrivers. The problem solved. I can always find my screwdriver now. Glad you made it here. But I'll listen to the rest later. Okay. Hey, Linda, great to see you. So yeah, jumping on to say 35 years in private practice. Wait, I don't want to hear this. In private practice management, the business model just got too bad. Left 2 years ago. Yeah, it's too insane, man. You don't want to spend your life doing this. Nothing, yeah, nothing makes any sense in the Matrix once you see it, once you open your eyes. But that's the thing, um, KJ Bears, that that and that's what separates us from the world. And are we bad people that we're not sympathetic to our brothers and sisters who are still reveling in the shame and failure that is their life, that they accept? The weather feels so fresh. Yeah, yeah. In Cali, yeah. It's been even nice in New York. Northern Cali, nice. Yeah, Northern Cali is great. I got to spend some time in Frisco a couple of years ago. It was really amazing. Yeah, and it's nice here. It's supposed to get hot in the next couple of days up here. We're going to have 90-degree weather in March. I got all my seeds in the ground now. It's March, and I'm totally. We went and we bought the last. I wanted to get some cucumbers. I'm going to be planting them tomorrow. Cucumbers, and yeah, we decided to try broccoli because Norman, and by the way, we're doing our health show not tomorrow. We're doing it Friday morning at 11. Is that Eastern Standard?
No.
It's 11 our time. At 11 Western time. Yeah, because now we're aligned with California. In the winter, we're an hour ahead, but now we're the same. So at 11 o'clock Pacific time, which would be 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we are doing our lifestyle channel tomorrow with Norman. No, on Friday. I'm sorry. We usually do it tomorrow. We will be doing our Republic meeting at, gosh, what time is it? We don't even know what time. It's
Probably won't.
it's what?
Oh, 4 Eastern.
Well, it was 2 o'clock our time. It would be like 5 o'clock Eastern time, I think. But
Now I think it's 1 p.m. here.
it could be 1 p.m. I don't know. We're not sure, but sometime in the afternoon we're doing the Republic thing. I'll figure it out because most of my friends that come on for the Republic are from Colorado. So I don't know what time zone they're in. This whole thing is ridiculous. This is the Matrix. You can't figure out, I want to call my mom, and my mom's 3 hours different. I mean, it's insane. What does this accomplish? They say in the old days we had a reason for it because the kids were all working on the farm and they had to get back and they didn't want them walking in the dark and all this other stuff. 90 degrees here in DC. Wow, today. That's amazing. Yeah, it was like 75 here. It was glorious. But yeah, so beautiful. It's such a beautiful world. Don't lose sight of it. And don't ever lose sight of how important you are. And if you want to be like me, you want to be a real fruitcake, man. I mean, I know I shouldn't be embarrassed. I went out as I'm pointing at the plane, and the plane stopped squirting poison over my house. He went away. He just went away, and the chemtrail went away too. So if you see chemtrails, I'm seeing less and less of them. Just go out and start pointing your finger. Chant if you want. Scream at them. Or just say, I wish that you would die a miserable death, you and all your children right now. Whatever you want to say to these people who are spraying our skies. You should die a miserable death right now, and I should get to see it. I should get to see your plane crash right into. You're allowed to think that these people are trying to kill you. So, well, I can't think that. That's so mean. Well, I don't know. It's so mean to be. These guys are killing us with the spray. Confusion, just like they like it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's all good. This is awesome. I'm trying it. Yeah, I tried. I was chanting. I sounded like a Native American guy. That's what was thought. I don't know if Daniela heard. I have this great partner, and she doesn't shame me like she doesn't like to. What were you doing out there? She doesn't say stuff like that to me, and I don't say stuff like that to her either. Or maybe I do sometimes, but I do. Yeah. She's laughing. She says, but I tried. I tried my best. I mean, listen, I'm working on myself. I'm not there yet, but I am. I'm trying. But yeah, we got this. Arizona is one of the states legislating against chemtrails. Yeah, but yeah. Well, I have seen a lot less of it now, but I did see some this morning. I did make a video about it because she's real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's it's amazing. It's just amazing. We yesterday I left her at the dentist for like an hour. I ran to Sprouts to get all the little treats, and Sprouts, and what was the other place I had to go to?
CV,
Oh yeah, we had to go. I had to go to the pharmacy, get something there, and the pharmacist was like, "That'll be $135." I'm like, $135? I don't have nothing. She says, "Okay, $10." You know, I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? This matrix is, you just have to stand up to it, and it just goes away. It's like the Wizard of Oz, like the little old man. I am the Wizard of Oz. I am the Mojave County Sheriff, and you don't have registration. I'm like, well, I don't really, I'm not in your world, man. I have nothing to do with you. I I'm not, I'm not interested in standing in line, even though ADOT is a hell of a lot easier than New York City registration. Oh my God, getting your car registered, dealing with the motor vehicle department. We didn't even own a motor vehicle and we had to deal with those idiots. Remember, what were we doing there? Something with our license, maybe?
out of state or something else.
We had to get some stupid, bring me a signed document. It must be done in the style of the original settlers with only blue pen with a little bit of red to it. Okay, you could, this is the Matrix. I'm like, I didn't make a reservation at the DMV in Queens. We spent 2 hours on a bus getting there. We get there and they're saying, like, you can't come in here. I'm like, well, why not? You don't have an appointment. I got to make an appointment with the Department of Motor Vehicles. You won't even let. I'm like, I, I don't need to. I don't want to be around that kind of thing. I don't accept it. I don't. For me personally, but there's still a part of me inside my head that goes, you're going to get screwed, man. You better do something about this. You have to go and, I do have that fear thing. I just have to work through it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? The last time I appeared in court, it was a disaster. They tricked me. They tricked me into coming to court. And I came and it was just, I was like, I said, you guys are satanic. You're wearing black robes. I don't buy any of this. But once you get into it, and I told them, I said, make me an offer. Talk to me like man to man. You want to, and they were like, oh no, you can't do that in court. Just do you mean make a deal? Just settle an issue and be done with it? No, we can't do that. It has to be convoluted, it has to be confusing, it has to be scary, it has to look like you're going to lose it all if you don't do the right thing. All this. Fair. Enough. I live in Southern California, in the I can't pronounce it. Anaheim Hills area close to Knott's Berry Farm. Nice. It's so nice in California. It's so beautiful, except for the politics. Well, here isn't much better, but yeah, I've the other thing is like once you like today. So today we had to go back to town, and they're fixing the roads. So I wasn't paying attention to what was going on, and I turned onto the highway without remembering that you're going to be sitting here for 2 hours because they're fixing the roads. So Danielle was like, "You got to get out of here, man. We're not doing this." And so I made a U-turn on the highway and got off the highway. I said, hell, I mean, I don't follow their other laws. Well, what am I worried about? I mean, they're gonna come and slap my wrists and tell me I'm a bad boy and make me sit in the corner and write 1,000 times on the blackboard. I will get a registration. I will I will go to court. I will, whatever. No, I'm not doing it. I'm done. You want to make some kind of thing out of it, that's your business. I'll deal with it as it comes, but I am not going to volunteer. That's when you fill out your tax form, it's a voluntary operation. Once you fill out your tax form and give it to them, you're cooked, you're screwed. I don't do that. I don't, I'm not as soon as I hired a lawyer in this other case, this was about the divorce thing, I was screwed. The guy was an asshole. He pretended like he was my friend, and yes, Ellie will do this, and he's listening to my songs, and we're kumbaya. And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I need another $5,000." I'm like, well, "You haven't done anything yet." But why we need $5,000? That's just standard. I'm like, "Well, I just paid you $3,000." Well, that was just the beginning. I mean, hello, this is the world we live in. And if I allow myself to get into the fear space, it's not good. It's not good. But thanks to people like Nancy, and I'm just going to put on the okay, well, let me get to business here. I'm going to put on the republic.org, right? Just to remind everyone, join the Republic. This is where it's at. Oh gosh, what happened? Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay. Um, I'm getting better. It's just each of these platforms has their own kind of language, and everything is separate in the matrix. There's no unity, there's no connection. When you get into nature, when I'm building out here, everything is connected. I do this job, but in order to do this job, I have to do this job, and that's connected to this. And I have these tools over here, and that's connected to do this other job. And everything is interconnected in the real world. But in the matrix, everything is, oh, your password, we need a new password. You better update. We're going to send it to your phone, even though we know exactly who you are. We know every time you pass gas, we have records of it all the way, all the, Skyforce in Washington has records of you. So, but we don't, but you need to remember your password. I'm like, you know exactly where I am right now. You're listening to my conversation. But I need a password to prove that I'm really here. This is the kind of harassment. I can't get on a plane. I have to get patted down in case I'm carrying weapons. Are you kidding me? This is the Matrix. This is the farce that has become the Matrix. It's just laughable now that we can see it. Sign these 20 documents, get them all notarized, and then 20 copies of each page, right? Then wait 6 months for us to approve that, which is the matrix for all of us. Exactly right. And wait on hold for 6 hours of your life. Your life is will they pick up? And will the person speak English? And will she understand the idea that if you don't, no, they won't. I'm like, I want to talk to your supervisor. Oh, well, I am the supervisor. I'm like, can I speak to somebody who speaks English? I'm sorry, but why do they always hire somebody who doesn't know the language for a communications job? They must be doing it on purpose. Poor Danielle. I finally, because I can't handle it anymore. I'm just like, Danielle, you got to do this yourself. And she braved through it. She pushed through it, man. But I just retreated. I took the chicken shit way, and I went out and fixed my fences, man. I mean, while she was dealing with this insanity. But this is what we have learned to put up with. Anyway, okay, so let me just share a beautiful clip. We've been talking a lot about glutathione lately with Dr. Stacey and with Norman. Norman, by the way, and again, we'll be doing a live show at 2:00 Eastern time on Friday. Norman, my friend Norman, has 40 years of experience in the food business dealing with organic food for 40 years. So it just dawned on me last week. I'm like, why do I feel so compelled to listen to Norman about health issues? Well, he's really, really experienced because Daniela it considers Norman her doctor. If she ever has a real question, whether it's this or that, she calls Norman. Anyway, so we're meeting with Norman, and we're getting heavy into glutathione. They're saying that they put nanotechnology in everything, even organic food. And I saw something today. We're all going to be cured of this, but right now, it just, when you see it on X, and you're like, they put nanoparticles in organic food. The pirates, man. Ho ho har! I'll teach those buckaroo. I'll teach those earthlings. Ha ha ha! And we'll eat their kids too. Ha ha! Or walk the plank. Shiver me timbers. That the big club, that Brian Cates's big club pirate extravaganza. That's what they do. They sit around. Let's eat a couple more humans today. I feel like some whatever. Okay, so we don't want to go there. But what it's like, we need to brush up on our acting skills when we're dealing in the Matrix, right? Glutathione is my favorite. So So I've been talking. So let me just play a clip from Dr. Stacy.
Yeah, you wear the patch every other day. The glutathione.
Okay, I want to verify that, but Daniela is saying that it's possible that Dr. Stacy, who's my big guru, that she said you could put on the glutathione patch every other day because the patch is so powerful. It keeps producing glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. So let me just play the tape of Dr. Stacy. Right, but I have to start it first. Okay, so let me start the tape, and then I'll share. Oh, wait, can't even get it.
Three-ish percent, 23, 25%. This is going to elevate glutathione over 300. That's big. That's a lot of elevation of your own glutathione, not a synthetic form, but your own glutathione in your body. So what does that mean? Well, because our patch is patented, we do have the ability to be able to wear this patch for 12 hours and it continued to elevate your glutathione and actually sustain it for a 24-hour period. So I put it on in the morning, I put it on for 12 hours. It's going to elevate it over 300%.
Okay.
So as I mentioned before with the suppositories or the
Okay, so I get it. Now I get it. She was not saying you put it on every other day. She was saying that with the LifeWave patches, you put them on for 12 hours and then you take them off for 12 hours. That's what she's saying. She's saying that it's good for 24 hours.
The AI thing didn't get it right now.
I think that's what she was saying. We'll ask her next week. We meet with Dr. Stacy Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll ask her. You guys can ask her. But these glutathione patches, the X39 with your stem cell, the Eon patch. Now I'm a big fan of the Eon patch, and I was sharing on Dr. Stacy's channel that before I got here, I was like, why would I want Eon? I don't have any inflammation. Well, now that I'm building a house and I'm picking up boulders the size of what is the size of that boulder? I can't think of a good metaphor. I picked up this boulder. There's a way to pick things up. If you bend down your knees, you just pick it up. But my back felt it. And the Eon patch, I put my Eon patch and sometimes the X39, which actually I put here today. But because I didn't really do any significant work other than pick up a 100-pound rock. I usually put it at the base of my spine because that's where I experience pain. It's in my where my tailbone would be if I was a reptile, God forbid. Stinking, dirty, low life, pirate, reptile, shapeshifter, with a very bad chip on his shoulder and a really negative attitude. Anyway, so yeah, so all but let me I also want to share my friend's cousin worked in the grape field. They pack the grapes with pesticides for the organic. Right. They just change the bags so the bags say organic. Right. Same grapes, only change the bag. Yeah. And there was some organic company in New York City that said we only use USDA approved pesticides. Well, gee, that makes me feel good. I'm trying to find a source of organic berries. I want to find heirloom berry trees for my property. I got some blueberries, but I'd like I. Do you guys even know, are strawberries, are they hybrids? But because the strawberries we buy in the store are so tasteless, we threw them out the other day. But I want to find a good, anyway. Okay, that's another story. But so okay, I got the Republic on. I see them all over the place. This is why I can never find my hammer and when I'm doing work. But yeah, call. Let me make sure I get the right one. That's not it. Is this it? No. I just put it up. Where do they do? What do they do with it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is the one. So if you want to order the Lifeway product from Daniela, this is her phone number. You can text her or call her. She also has a Instagram channel. She just got a new email. That's her website. You could sign up under her. Instead of pressing shop, go to join, become a brand partner, and buy a core pack or better, and then you're in for it as a brand partner. You could text or call her at that number. She also has just got created a new Gmail, Lifeway by Daniela at gmail.com. So you can get a hold of Daniela, you can get a hold of Dr. Stacy, you can get a hold of me if you're lucky, and order some patches and try them. Dr. Stacy says you should put them on for 1 month for every decade of your age. So if I was new to this, I should try it since I'm 71, I should put it on for 7 months initially. These patches, man, they changed my life. Today I was exhausted from the drive yesterday, but I didn't put on my patch. Why? Because I discovered last night at 3 a.m. that I had left the patches on and I woke up like this. So I took off all my patches and Daniela said, you have to wait 12 hours to put on your X39 and other assorted patches. So I waited till 3:30 or something to put on the X39. I felt like a completely different person as soon as the patch hit my body. I wasn't exhausted. I could tell that I was still exhausted, but I was just like felt full of energy, and that's what these patches will do. They keep there's a patch called YH. Is there a special now in YH?
No, there's always been a special.
There's always been a special on the YH patches, which is glutathione patch, carnosine, which helps your heart and your brain, and Eon, which deals with inflammation. Dr. Stacy calls it the happy patch. Patch out, man. I mean, you need to be, or I need to be aggressive about health. I can't wait for, we don't go to doctors generally. We're doing one little thing, and I'm probably like giving it away what it is, but we'll get more into that. Anyway, so like I was saying on the thing, it used to be, do we really have to get the patches? Because 1 month's worth of X39 for us is double the price because I have to buy 2 sleeves one for me and one for Daniela. But her speech, she's talking now. She asked me to stand next to her when she has to call into the Matrix. But I'm useless to her because I lose my temper, and she's able to keep her cool. But her speech, when we first met, we were just totally telepathic. We didn't really have to use speech, but I mean, we didn't. It didn't work so well. So, but now she's very eloquent, and I attribute it to the patches. We at this point we take X39, X49, glutathione, and Eon. Those are the 4 patches we're focusing on right now, but it could change. I guess I feel like the aloe vera patch is good for your skin and your pineal gland. Maybe I feel like my pineal gland is doing pretty good because I get a lot of kind of constant messaging from what I call above. It's just everything is working pretty good. But I'm out there, man. I'm out there picking up 100-pound rocks. I'm 71, and I'm not a big person. I'm like 5'7". I'm 140 soaking wet. So I'm picking up rocks almost as big as me. And yeah, I feel it. I mean, my back doesn't like it, but it handles it. And the rock went. It was my garden is like on a part is on top of the canyon. So all I had to do was get it to the top of the fence, and then gravity or whatever the force is took care of the rest. But if you yell at those plans, or I don't know, maybe talk to them nicely. I don't know what the thing is, but I chanted at the planes this morning and they went away. We have more power than we realize. Unless I'm actually I don't bother with doctors and hospitals. Yeah, I mean, it's a big mistake. Knowing what we know about what they did with the vax and everything, I use it on my weed plants and they grow like insane sizes. What do you use? Copper. Yeah, I have copper in my lower garden. As soon as I get some money, I'm going to get some copper pipes, or actually I have some copper wires I could use. All judges wear black because they consider us all dead at sea. Right. That's why they want you to consult a lawyer, because the Democrats that have controlled us for a very long time all hate Americans. 100%. 100%. I'm not giving them the in. Using weeds. Yeah, I'm going to use the copper. Copper is really good. Also, musical frequencies an effect on plants as well. Plants wake up with the sound of a bird call, stimulates them. Nice. We have actually wind chimes. I just rescued a set of wind chimes from my other garden because it got all tangled up in the winter. It's so much wind. But I untangled it. So now we have a big wind chime and a little wind chime. But yeah, I'll have to sing to my plants. I really need to get my guitar out and finish that last song anyway. Yeah, unless I'm actually dying. Yeah. Exactly. We have a project we're working on, but that's different. It's about life, not being sick. So I'm going to play. Let's play the Matrix tune, man, because I think it's appropriate. But again, I just want to remind everyone, you are the bomb, man. You are the one. Don't listen to the voices inside your head that tell you anything else. Just work through it. The demon of doubt. I used to play with the demon of doubt, and one of my old time friends on this channel said, "You're scaring me, Ellie. Don't do that anymore." So I stopped. But the demon of doubt is very real. I just don't want to hang out with them anymore. No CM. Not sure what that means. All right, so let's go. Let's do it. Should we do Language of the Heart? Linda, you still on? If Linda's on, I'll do Language of the Heart. I don't know if Linda's here. Linda, you got to sleep. Well, you're on my time. It's late even here. No more cleaning of the dishes, right? Yeah. They grow to insane sizes. I use it on my weed plants. Interesting. Oh, weed plants. Oh, I get it now. Okay, I got it. All musical frequencies. Yeah, I mean, the weed plant will talk to you. Those guys are like, they're very amazing. I should probably grow one just so they could tell me what the other plants are saying about me, right? Hey man, what do they say? Was that peach tree pissing me off again? Did I not give it enough water? Yeah. The peach plant says I'm funny. What? Only the pot plant would tell me. Only the weed plant, right? Because they're very communicative. The peach plant's like, I'm not talking to you. You know, it's. Sorry, that first comment was a typo. Okay, got it, Leon. You're good in my book, man. You guys are the bomb. All right, so I don't know. Linda probably had to go to sleep. I mean, she's a normal person. She's got a life. She's got grandchildren that she has to take care of. Yes, please. Okay, so I'm doing this is for Linda. Okay, here we go. This is one of the first. This was a big kind of, for me, a big hit in songwriting circles in Nashville. I had a little following for a very short time. I was going out with a woman, and she had a lot of friends, and they all came to me. As soon as I broke up, my career was ended. All right, but I did get to write the song, so it wasn't a total waste. I'm sorry, wrong song. The street, I surrender my ambitions and the ways of deceit. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. I surrender to our new love on any path it takes. In the beauty of this moment, there are no mistakes. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet surrender, of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to sing together round the language of the heart. Love is a river, fear is a stone that I skip across the water on my gentle journey home. Sweet journey home. Sweet journey home. Sweet journey home. Sweet journey home. We all need to come together. We all need to come together. We all need to share together. together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to be together, we all need to sing together, we all need to dance together round the language of the heart. We all need to feel together, we all need to dream together, we all need to know together the language of the heart. So yeah, I'm a little teary-eyed myself. Yeah, it's should I have changed that one line? Because I was Orthodox when I recorded this, or more Orthodox in some way, that I don't you know you're a magician? That was really the initial, but we changed it to musician. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the point is that you got it, man. You are Neo. You are the one. We just, that video is just so point on that we just decided to walk away from the tape. We stopped feeling, carrying around shame like it was a family heirloom. It's just tradition, man. It's tradition. It's tradition to us in my family to think lowly of yourself and feel like a miserable failure and you know, and feel whatever. No, we decided that we had enough of it, and we walk away, and we're building. We're really building. We're leaving the matrix and coming into the promised land is the bottom line. By the way, I tried to search for my song online. I couldn't find it. Even on Rumble, I couldn't find it. I don't know. It's all good. But just know that you are the one. Nobody can do what you can do. Nobody has what you have. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate it. Like you, Linda. I mean, the way you take care of your grandchildren, it's just so beautiful, and the way you love San Diego, it's it's beautiful. I've never been to San Diego. But I hear it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. So anyway, thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us with LifeWave. We totally appreciate it. And just know that you are the one. Look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I love you. I like you just the way you are. You don't go changing. Yeah. So today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. So we will be on tomorrow with the Republic at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with members of the Republic, with veterans that are just the best. You got to hear these guys talk about the Republic. It's happening. It's so happening. And then on Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be talking with Norman. Now, remember, you can ask questions to Norman. We learn so much from Norman. He also has another product that is a precursor for glutathione. I don't like to talk about it on this particular broadcast, but if you're interested, and if you feel like if you've been poisoned and you really need help, the glutathione patch and this glutathione product together, and the information that Norman has about broccoli sprouts and other things to encourage the production of glutathione in your body, to get rid of all the poisons and nanobots and all the other stuff that the creepazoids have put on us, that the big pirates. Iran it's going down, but it's not Iran. The Persian people are beautiful people. It was another big country club, a clubhouse for the pirates. I feel like some pizza tonight. I mean, these people are nuts. Anyway, so you just know that you are the one. Let's yeah, everyone in the chat. Love you all. Yeah, much love. You should come. Yeah, maybe someday. Yeah. I would love to come to San Diego. You know, Norm is from San Diego. Norm is my man.
I've been there before.
What?
I've been there once.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Oh, she's been everywhere. You've been everywhere, baby. Even Far Rockaway, New York, on the ocean. Okay, so have a great night. Love you all. Love to everybody. Just enjoy the experience. You're not bad. You're not abandoning your people with the heirloom shame jewels. Keep doing what you're doing. Believe in yourself. Love yourself. Love everyone you meet, whether they're an NPC or not. It really doesn't matter. Everyone just needs love. Even elites, I just don't know how to. I can't. I just don't. I don't have the stomach to deal with them. But everybody else, maybe you do. Maybe you're more tolerant than me. May the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force itself. You are the force. You can do whatever you want. You can manifest. It's not. It's not brain surgery. It's pretty simple. You just have to do the stuff. You just have to put one foot after another. Just start thinking about it, planning it. May source be with you. May you realize that you are the creative energy of all time and nothing can stop what's coming. And it's all good. And President Trump with the White Hats are taking down these pirates one by one. Iran, Venezuela, Cuba next. They're cartels. They're all going down. China, England. Essentially, it's all, when you come around to it, it's really all the English stuff. But this is the big pirate club. Check out Brian Cates. Check out the Republic. Join the Republic. Get involved. That's really what's going to bring the future the best. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.